Hello everyone, my name is Mike and I am the co-founder of the Pratnicka Center. In previous episodes we have talked about how spirits attach to living people and how they can affect your mood, your health, the behavior and even your personality. Today we're going to talk a little bit about a different kind of possession, namely if the spirits are attaching to places and not to living people. Haunted houses is not in reality something you know from horror movies. There is no slamming doors or flying furniture. The spectrum goes from barely noticeable. It is a sense of unease if you sleep poor in a house or a flat, or if you experience fatigue that you cannot explain. And sometimes there are situations where a family cannot function anymore. We will take a close look at the spirits that are creating such situations, because the why really matters. By understanding the why, you will be able to see how ghosts are operating in the world of the living. Some spirits are staying here on physical earth because they are deeply attached to what they have possessed during lifetime. Others again are just not aware of the fact that their physical body has stopped to function. There are others again who were violent in physical life and haven't changed even a bit. Each type is creating a different experience for those who are staying in a haunted house. And then we are going to talk about something that almost nobody takes into consideration today when they are buying or building a house. The thing is that the history of the land where you are going to build a house matters tremendously. Our ancestors in the past, they've understood it like intuitively. Unfortunately today we have completely forgotten about that. So the first thing I want to mention today is a type of a person who is spending their entire life accumulating things and not enjoying and not sharing, just holding on those things. Their house, their business, everything they possess, it is becoming their identity then. And when the death of the physical body comes, they just cannot let go of it. They just don't want to leave what they have possessed, and therefore they are staying. There is a biblical quote that is today not really understood by most people. It says that it is easier for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle than to enter the heaven by a wealthy individual. This isn't about God punishing wealthy people at all. God loves everyone, including wealthy people. It is all about attachment to things. So there is nothing wrong with being rich. So what is keeping the soul on the physical level after the physical body is gone is not money. It is the inability to walk away when the right time comes. Physical things belong to the physical world. You can't take them with you when your physical body stops to exist. There is also a darker category in that. There are spirits who in life were willing to harm others to take what they wanted. And that same aggression doesn't disappear after the death. And they will do whatever it takes to drive out anyone who enters what they have considered their own territory. Some spirits of that sort, after death, they are just guarding whatever they have had. Once we had a spirit who would terrorize the entire household to protect a cheap picture hanging on the wall, because in his mind this was a great treasure. And that is the reason why you sometimes cannot rent a house for even years. Nobody is able to move in. Nobody can even demolish the house because the spirit keeps what belonged to him. Sometimes there are things happening in life that you cannot expect. There can come a car accident, there can be a sudden heart attack. Some people in the morning they are going out to work and they are never returning. But the spirit in some cases just doesn't know that it's already gone in the sense of his physical body. So he is coming back home and is living as usual. There is a movie, a good movie, it is called The Sixth Sense. And this movie is showing you this story very beautifully and very accurately. And in case you've lost someone this way, like this very unexpected way, then I genuinely recommend watching that film. And there is something you can do about it if you are in such a sad situation. You should talk to the spirit and say to him, "Look, John, you are just dead. Your physical body is dead. You need to move to the light. God loves you and He is expecting you, and please don't be afraid. Your life on earth is over. You were in this car accident today. Please go to the light. We all here forgive you and we ask you for forgiveness on your side." Very often sensitive individuals will be able to just perceive the presence of the person who died. And you should go on with this practice as long as it takes, as long as you feel that the spirit moved on. This is a kind of a gift that you are giving them, and you are, believe me, giving that gift also to yourself. Might be that you are avoiding a lot of difficulties from the spirit doing so. And in order to understand why spirits are staying, you need to understand them from their own perspective. You need to understand them from their own perspective. They can still see and they can hear and feel. They can even pinch themselves. They are looking at their hands and everything is as it used to be. What experience would ever convince them that they are dead? And when strangers suddenly appear in their home, like new occupants, it is for them a terrible shock. And there are some spirits who are waking up that moment, but most of them don't. And there are two movies that are just explaining that better than any words that I can give you. It is the said Sixth Sense and the others. And they are both portraying this parallel reality phenomenon with remarkable accuracy. I do not want to spoil the movie The Others, and therefore I will not give you the explanation what happened in that movie, but I am very much encouraging you to see it. After watching it, you might even ask yourself if you are still alive physically. Our ancestors, they knew before they were building a house, they have checked what happened on that ground previously. And they have very strictly avoided places like battlefields, cemeteries, places of violent death. And that was not out of superstition, but out of understanding that there are other life forms on earth, not only those that are visible. And today we've lost that. Today housing developments go on whenever the land is cheap or precious. So old cemeteries are always a problem, even the small ones. Sites of battles, not just the famous ones. Places of execution, murder or disaster. The earth holds the memory of what happened there, and the spirits can stay in these places and make a lot of troubles to the new owners. The other issue are water veins underground, and this is the invisible danger. Most people don't know, but underground water veins, they are geological fault lines and they give spirits energy. So spirits gather at such lines, and if you build a house on that ground, then you might experience a lot of problems. And this is the reason why buildings who are staying on that ground are places where arguments, depression, alcohol, or even suicide is happening. And this is not about bad luck. There is a cause that can be identified. We have had an issue with a family who built a house on an underground lake, and there were many spirits there. And unfortunately, most of people who inhabited that house, they weren't ready to move somewhere else, which in such situation is unfortunately the only solution to the problem. People sometimes are building devices that should block or neutralize underground radiation. And the truth here, unfortunately, is they are working for a while and then they stop working. There comes always a day when they are just filling up with bad energy. They cannot accumulate any more energy that would neutralize the place. And therefore, the simplest and most overlooked protection is to check before you move in or buy a house. Just check the ground underneath and you will have clarity if you will live there well or not. You can ask neighbors like simple questions: how do you find living here? Or you can check local records about a house or about a neighborhood. Talk to people who live nearby for decades. And this is not about mysticism. It is about understanding the law and acting accordingly. In the end, it might turn out that you will have to move out from a property because there is no other solution to that. But the cost of moving away from a problem house will always be smaller than the cost to your health, to your family, and of course to your peace of mind. Okay, I would like to thank you for listening to this episode today, and I wish you to stay well for the next 2 weeks, and then we are going to hear each other again. Thank you so much. Bye bye.